explain to someone who doesn't know what is.
It's like a Hallmark movie. They put up these lights. We string lights from one house to another during Christmas time. And it's a thing. Like everybody goes into their yards at the same time, right after Thanksgiving. We string these lights from window to window. It takes all this collaboration.
Sure.
And then, like I said, it looks like something like a Hallmark movie when you drive through our neighborhood.
Right.
Halloween's on tomorrow. And it's insane. I've never seen a Halloween like it before in my life. If you live in Maryland, you should come to
Sure.
for Halloween because it's
Well, let's not tell
incredible.
too many people about it because
That's
it's
true.
All right, hello everybody. This is Matt Ryan on All Roads Lead to Real Estate. And I have a bittersweet moment here. I have a guest today who is a client of mine who's leaving the state. So unfortunately, unless life changes dramatically, we won't get to work together again.
I know.
How sad is that, Emily?
It makes me so sad, Matt.
I know, it's so sad. So the guest I have today, her name is Emily Johnson. And first of all, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And so she is someone that, I think, how many years ago has it been? Has it been maybe 5 years-ish?
Right around five
So
or 4.5.
somewhere in that ballpark, roughly 5 years, I met Emily. Do you remember how we met back in the day?
Oh gosh, I think we literally just filled out the form on Zillow.
That's it.
And that was it. You gave us a call.
That's it. So when you think you're going to have some creep show up when you click Zillow, occasionally that creep is me. That's what the moral of this story is. I don't really do as much Zillow as I did once upon a time, but back then I did a whole lot more of it. And occasionally get a creep like me. So
We're so grateful for you, Matt.
creep and all.
No.
So you might end up on a podcast. You got to be very careful on the internet, on those interwebs. Yeah. So Emily came in, and so her story I thought was certainly worthy of a podcast. And I want to kind of at least go over in broad strokes, and then we're going to get drilled down a little bit. But you just had a very, in my opinion, interesting story. You're not from Maryland, right?
Not. I'm from Georgia.
Yeah, she's from Georgia, and she came here for a couple reasons, which we're going to go over. Do you want to start? I guess you should share a little bit of your background, how you ended up here when we first crossed paths, and then I'll explain a little bit more since then.
Okay. So it's almost been 8 years now. I met my husband in Savannah. So I'm from Georgia, born and raised, only lived there. And he came down for something through the military in Georgia. So we met, and he could not move. He was born and raised up here and working up here. But I'm a nurse, so I'm way more flexible. So I actually got a job at Johns Hopkins and just made the move. And stayed. I stayed.
Yes.
So I've been a nurse at a couple different hospitals around and about. We lived in the city for a while. We moved to some apartments next to where our first home was. And then we met you. And Matt sold us our first house. So
that's it. And
yeah.
I told you have to consider this place in Rogers Forge.
You did.
Right. And so it's interesting because we've actually, that particular home in Rogers Forge, I had the listing for, if you recall. And so I was trying to help place them in a home that they purchased and had to maneuver that, which is a web. And it's one of the other interesting components because there's so many reasons why I wanted you on here. One of them is to help address a question that everyone seems to consistently have with me. And that's, how in the world do I figure out the logistics around selling a home, moving? You have a rent back as we speak.
I do.
Like that ends in a couple days. Yeah. And all that means, guys, is that she was able to sell her existing home, and we negotiated, in your case, a free rent back, not for charge. So you're living for free at your existing home.
Yeah.
And then you have to head out and go to the new home that you're buying in Georgia.
Yes.
You're headed back home.
I am.
So that, I think people are going to want to hear from you for that reason, one of those reasons, because I don't know how you felt, but doesn't it seem almost impossible? Doesn't it seem bizarre to be able to navigate all of that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine doing it like without you and your team.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't have a good realtor, I think you would just kind of you'd be screwed, to be honest, because there's just so many different moving parts. And especially I feel like we were so young and fresh when we bought our first home. Like we knew nothing at all,
Yeah.
So, just so many moving pieces.
It can be. So that's, we're all going to get replaced by AI one day, but there is a reason why we exist for the moment. And so that even happened when you purchased the home, because do you recall, we had a rent back?
Yeah, they rented back from
guys.
us. Yeah.
So occasionally it works out for everybody, but you have to know all your options. But, before we get to the other stuff, I want to just, if they say double click, I hate that term, but we're about to use it. We're going to double click on that, because if you're listening to this and you're figuring out, how do I make a move and make all that work? Mm-hmm. So what was your thought process, honestly? Because I do it on a regular basis. I coach people through it. But from your perspective, as someone who hadn't, from the selling perspective, you've never done that.
No. I think that was scarier than buying, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Because what's the fear? What's the objection in your head?
I think it's just, once again, just all of the unknowns. It's like, where do you start?
Yeah.
And then, how much are we going to sell it for? And are we going to get what we want for it? But, it's just like, just once again, just like so many new things selling for the very first time.
And then where do you go? And if you do sell, it's like, well, where do I move into?
Am I going to have a home to move into if I sell this first? Or, am I going to be able to rent it back? There's so many different questions.
But what I always try to tell people, and I told it to you, things have a weird way of working out.
They do.
And I'd like to say I've almost been doing this 20 years now, and I haven't no one's been homeless under my protection here. And so it has a tendency to work out, and you followed the steps. You guys did everything to list your home really well. Like your house, I refer to it as like a Pottery Barn home.
I love that.
And it's the way I feel. Like I walk in and it looks like it's already staged. And that's just, you're like, no, this is us. It's messy. I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's like, that's ridiculous. There's one toy on the ground. And so you prep your home. You did all the things, all the little touch-ups. Those are the details that matter, that put you in a driver's seat to be able to negotiate those things. So you have to take the advice and say, you can't just go to your doctor and he tells you or she tells you what pills to take, and then you take none of them and you're like, I don't know why I'm not getting better. You took the medicine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you followed the steps and did it. So that should hopefully encourage people that it's possible. You're living proof it's possible. It's not that it's not stressful.
No, still stressful.
You're still moving. It's still a million moving pieces, but that's one piece I just wanted to get out there. But the other is that you have a journey as a nurse that you trained for, you had a lot of schooling for, and then hearing your journey of trying to figure out, you've kind of transitioned away from the traditional, what I would consider a traditional nursing role, into this whole other thing. You're now an entrepreneur. I see you on social. Hopefully you post this when this airs and people can kind of hear your journey.
Of course.
In addition to what you see on your social, because to me that's inspiring. So yeah, you're a mom and you have a 2-year-old who's like the cutest thing ever. And so you're busy doing that, you're a wife, you have another career as a nurse, and you're starting a business to hopefully have, even more opportunity in your life.
Yeah.
And I think that has got to be overwhelming to almost anybody. Oh, and by the way, you're moving, like we just mentioned. So you're doing all these things. So it's like, I want to hear directly kind of what inspires you to try to go do all of those things. I imagine the easier thing to do would just continue down the nursing path and just do that. I'm imagining that's the simplest, right? The most straightforward.
Absolutely. Yeah. The safest.
So why in the world would you choose to almost suffer more, at least now, to do all these other things to try to change your situation? Help explain to me why the pain is worth it.
So one of my favorite people, she's somebody that's a little above me in the company, but she has a quote that's, you have to be willing to be out of balance for a little while to have balance for the rest of your life. And, I just wanted more in life, more than what my job I was doing from home was for nursing, and not just for money. I mean, obviously the financial part of it was, definitely part of my push, but also the idea of time freedom, of being able to work for myself one day, not being on somebody else's schedule, being able to travel more, all the different things like that it would do for myself. So I just tell myself that it's going to be worth it in the end, that I'm going to run off of those 3 or 4 hours of sleep, or, I'm not going to go to bed till after midnight, and I'm going to work 3 jobs a day, and it's going to be worth it in the end. So
that's crazy. I think it's easier to say. I've heard people say something similar, but I think getting the courage to actually do something about it is a whole nother thing. And I think, you're so put together. Every time I've ever seen, you're put together, you got your stuff together. But I'm like, I would assume that it can be chaos at times. It's like, perfection is not a thing, right?
I'm running out of the door to come here, Matt.
Yeah.
And I was literally told my husband, I said, my adrenaline's going to run off one day. And when it does, I'm going to crash for days.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks at me like I'm waiting on it. But I mean, seriously, though,
Yeah.
So
I just think that's really neat. And I mean, in your world currently, do you have other inspirations? Have you seen people that are maybe further along this path that you see and you like, it gives you the capacity to say, I know it's worth it. I see someone that's been there before.
Yes.
And here, that's where I'm going.
Yes. I was at a conference recently, a training, and I mean, there are thousands of women, honestly, within this company that have made it. They retire their husbands, but it's even more than that. They get up there and they help other women do the same thing. They help other women. They inspire other women, and they're walking the stage, and it's just very, very inspiring. So for me, when I see that, absolutely, I'm like, if they can do that, I can do that. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's possible. So, and how does it feel? Like, this is an honest question because I hear it sometimes that it's so different for men and women, even though we're not supposed to say that. It is, right? There's different expectations that I think moms have, that dads have, and there's just different feelings, because I've heard from other women that have pursued careers that are in businesses. They're just like, it's different. Like, if you're not dropping off your daughter at daycare, or, you're not as involved, they like look down at you almost. It's a different set of expectations, or a double standard.
For sure.
Do you ever feel, is that real? Or have I just been misled in that?
No, it's very real. That's a very real thing. As a mom, you're supposed to have very set roles, and there are responsibilities you're supposed to take care of, and they're supposed to come first all of the time, Yep. So that's definitely been a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a balance. But my husband's wonderful. He's great at helping fill in, and he never minds stepping up for the daddy duties or the mommy duties that he has to fill in for sometimes. Yeah. So, I have meetings at 8:00 at night all the time. So he does bath time, and he does, he's great in filling in there. So I just have to say that I don't care what anybody else thinks. Yeah. So, I just have to be like, we're making it work, and however we make it work, well, that's all that matters. So
that's awesome. Well, I mean, I think without support, so I think you're fortunate because you're married to someone that I know, obviously he's a client, but Brian, he's, I think, the real deal, right? So I say that about my wife. Without her support, it's impossible, because I work these type of hours too. And I know other people that are trying to do the hours that we're doing. And I think if they don't have the support system, it's just a flaming disaster, because like the guilt never ends. Mm-hmm. And it's not an instant success. Or if you're doing really well today, in 3 months, it could be a big bummer. And then it's like, or what you're doing now, you thought was the right path, and it fails for some reason, and you have to restart. And I know there's all the statistics. It's like most people's success can be measured by their ability to fail and get back up, not by whether or not, basically, their talent level. Mm-hmm. Your talent level, you have to have some version of talent, but you have to be able to willing to fail and then keep going. Yeah. And if you're willing to continue to fail and not necessarily care what others think, your likelihood of success is exponentially greater. Right. And it's like, when I see you on social media putting your stuff out there, I will admit, I don't do it. It's like, here, I have a podcast and I won't post.
It's my biggest weakness, though. I'm not going to lie. It's the part of the job that I dislike the most, is the social media part. Really? I have to make myself do it. Yeah. Yeah.
That is good to hear. Everyone should hear that, because if they look you up, they're going to say, this person has it all together. I don't have it all together because I won't post. Like, I just post pictures of like my kids, or like random things that have nothing to do with what I should be doing as an entrepreneur.
I tell myself, though, it's free advertisement. Sure. And like, you cannot, you're building a business, it's free advertisement. So I just have to get over it. Yeah. And put myself out there and do it, because.
And someone's going to judge you. That's the thing. I always say I don't care. And you said that you don't care, but I know I do care.
That's true.
Or else I'd be putting myself out there even further.
Yeah. Good point.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So I just know I'm full of it. But the fact that you do it is impressive, because you're doing it.
Thank you.
So I think that's awesome. So help explain, because I think this is the next piece of it that's interesting. So obviously you're a nurse. You're going to continue keeping your nursing license, you've said to me. Yeah. Right? So that means you have to do a certain number of hours. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So you can't just like keep it and never work in that field.
No. It wouldn't work that way.
Got it. Yeah. So you're going to do that, but you're going to do the route that you just described, like the entrepreneurial route. So do you want to take a moment and kind of describe what that is and why you chose that path in particular?
As far as my business, why I decided to do the business in general.
Well, help people understand what it is and what it's not. And then
Yeah. So as far as the nursing goes and keeping my hours, like I would love to just be able to find like a little outpatient job that I could do like a couple times a month and keep my nursing license and still have relationships with patients and doctors and such, but it just be super low key. That's what I would love to be able to do as far as nursing goes. As far as entrepreneur, honestly, it's not something that I ever thought I would be doing. This was not in the plan by any means. But we're big into health and fitness and in my family, just in general, me and my husband are. And this business just kind of aligned with everything. It's a health and wellness and a beauty company. And all of their standards just aligned with everything that I was looking for. And then when I just kind of realized, hey, like I can do more than just like purchase products and get a discount. Like I can actually make something of this. Like I can honestly like build something for myself and make a significant amount of money doing it. And then when I started doing it, it was fun. It was so much fun. I remember like, when we first started, like the adrenaline rush in the beginning and all the dopamine of like being successful and building. And I built really quick in the beginning. I did really well. It was very successful in the very beginning. And then you just keep going, you're just like, oh, I can do this. And this is way more fun than being a nurse. And I'm helping other people be healthy also. Yeah. So, so.
And so what's the company? If someone was interested to see what it is that you got excited about, is there a way that they could check it out? Is that something?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's Arbonne. So my personal website is emilyjohnson.arbonne.com. So that takes you just to like my storefront website to purchase products. But you could always follow me on Instagram and it's a little more personal that way. And you can always send me a message and I would love to like chat with you. And I like to do consultations with people and make it very personal, versus them just getting on a website and looking. We have over 400 products. You get on there and you can be very overwhelmed. And I like it from a nursing point of view. I'm able to give a little bit more of a clinical and a functional, consultation with people when it comes to their health and their wellness because of my nursing background. So you can go to my Instagram. It's mjane, JAYNE_Johnson. And you can connect with me there.
Wow. Check it out. So I have to ask you now, this is, I dragged you here. So now I get to ask a question and you can tell me if I'm crazy. I take something every day. And of course I heard about it on podcasts and everything else. Yeah. And so it's called Athletic Greens.
Oh.
And
is it AG1?
AG1.
Okay.
Now I'm nervous to ask you because you're going to tell me it's junk. But I take this. It's very expensive. It's not inexpensive. And I never told you this, Raul, because of this podcast and the fact that we actually I can't believe we actually have listeners, a fair amount of them. And so they're offering me to be a spokesperson.
What? No way, Matt. That's cool.
Shout out AG1. But I don't say yes to that because I don't know if it's garbage or not. I just take it. And so you have to have it for a certain number of time, and then they look at your social influence.
Interesting.
And that's how I think that's how they promote that product.
Of course.
But is it junk? Have you ever looked into it? Should I not be asking you? Blink twice if I should stop this conversation.
So I'm not going to tell you it's complete junk. We've took it before. Okay. So before I started Arbonne, we took AG1. It's not complete junk, but it's not the best on the market. I would tell you that we have the absolute best greens on the market for multiple reasons.
What's yours called?
So it's called Green Synergy.
Okay.
So it's like
Is it made in New Zealand? Because this is made in New Zealand. Not that
so
makes me feel special.
So our company's based off of California, but we actually, so all of our products are, they're extremely clean. We second party test for heavy metals and toxins. There's no artificial flavors or fragrances or any. So everything is super, super clean. It's all vegan and non-GMO. And we do all of our sourcing. We source from all over the world, to be honest. So, probably not from New Zealand, but.
Do you take it?
I do every day.
See,
my husband does too. We're
interesting. So should people be on that? I take no other multivitamins. I just take Athletic Greens and I take like vitamin D.
Okay.
And I think I'm doing something, but I don't know if I'm doing anything. And the tough part is I don't know. So I want to be healthy, right?
Sure.
So I exercise and I do this. Is that enough or am I missing the boat here?
You are. You're missing the boat.
Oh boy.
If you're not taking a multivitamin, so you at least need to be taking, do you like drink a meal replacement shake or any? Okay.
Nothing.
So you should at least do a meal replacement shake that's like full of like vitamins and minerals, right? Because I guarantee you what's in AG1 is not enough vitamins and minerals for your body to be healthy. And like our food nowadays, like the way the food is made and sourced and grown, like it no longer has the nutrients that our body needs. You eat a salad now and it's not the same as eating a salad 50 years ago. It's just not. So there's no way your body can get all the nutrients it needs from the food you eat. So you either need to take a vitamin or we need to get you a meal replacement protein.
So legitimately don't have lunch and have this?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible. No offense.
I know. Or breakfast. Or breakfast.
Or breakfast.
I drink mine for breakfast.
Well, I derive pleasure. It's like I'm so busy. It's like I get a nice sandwich or something. I'm like, oh man.
See, and for me, it's the opposite. And I think this is just mom mode. Yeah. Like I'll literally be like, I don't have time. And I can't live off of a cheese puff and a chicken tender today. So then I at least have my meal replacement shake. And, I know that I'm actually getting some protein and some carbs. And
so my wife's a registered dietitian. And so
you should know these things, Matt.
Well, listen, she doesn't, I don't pay her. So she doesn't, she doesn't take the time. But, so she's always on the fence about certain things. She she thinks we have a balanced diet in general.
Sure.
Because it's her and she does, she always makes sure there's a great dinner. So we don't eat out every day. So I think some people need it even more. But the truth is, like, we all need to be focused on it to a certain extent. And I don't know if anyone does. And I think maybe once again, going back to the difference between men and women, I think a lot of men don't think it's important. And I don't know, they're just tough, right? But macho. So it's interesting that your husband is doing this. Do you find that it's more women that are willing to look into the supplement route and try to quote unquote take care of themselves, or is it equal distribution between men and women?
I think in general, just because, especially with like millennials and this like generation, like we're very, very health conscious, I feel like, and becoming more and more every day. So I think just like in general, I think it's pretty split, to be honest.
Okay.
Now with our company, because we're also a beauty company, we tend to attract more women clients. But what happens is I get a client that's a woman, and the next thing I know, she's like, I ran out of protein because my husband's used all my protein, or all my fizz or whatever. So a lot of times that's how it gets introduced to the man in the family. But I can tell you, my husband, like Brian, is very like health conscious. He is the one who puts our vitamins out at night for the next day. He is the one that is like, I haven't had a shake today. I've got to get in some more protein. So he's very, very good with that. He keeps me on track sometimes. He'll come home and be like, you did not take your vitamins. I'll be like, well, I've been busy.
Yeah.
But so.
Is there any science, like the thing that, like even with AG1, right? That's the one thing I've been taking. There's very little science to back that particular brand up. That's one of the reasons I'm not out here hawking it on this podcast all the time, because my wife reminds me there's no science to back up the fact that makes a material difference. And so with all these supplements, because none of them are FDA, studied, right? And so they don't go through, in general, like a really deep dive in terms of the physiological benefits. And so I'm taking it because I want to be better. I want to do something that I think is within my control that's easy enough to do. And so that's why I do it. And I'm trying to figure out, is there going to be science behind it, or is a lot of it kind to, okay, well, there's no harm. So my wife doesn't tell me I shouldn't do it. Right. Because she's like, I can't identify the reason why you shouldn't do it. Right. So maybe if there's not as much benefit as you think, Matt, and this is what she tells me, you can keep doing it because it's not going to kill you necessarily, but maybe it's only partially beneficial. So question, do you feel like, can you tell a difference when you drink? Okay. All right then. But I've been doing it for a couple years. Oh, wow. Okay. And maybe it's just the new normal. I don't know. Maybe, if you stop taking them for a week, you might could tell a difference. Can you tell a difference when you take the greens? Hands down. So our greens have like 13 digestive enzymes in them, pre and probiotics. And I can tell a huge difference. Like if I don't have them for 3 days, like I'm bloated within 3 days of not taking them. Interesting. Yeah. So I can. So. Interesting. Maybe I'll cycle off and then cycle back on to see if there's a difference. Yeah. Or maybe you'll hook me up. I was going to say. And, maybe I'll try something different for a change. Yeah. And see if you can tell a difference. But I just think in general, when it comes to health and wellness, I think it's something that people talk about probably during the New Year's. Like it's not, for many people, it's not a focus. And until it becomes one, either you have a health scare or there's some crazy situation in your life where you're like, oh, I'm going to start paying attention to this. Very true. And I'm like, shouldn't we try to do that before we have the health scare? Absolutely.
Yeah. We should take care of our bodies, and it should be preventative. We could prevent so many different, America in general, we could prevent so many different diseases and things in life if we just took care of ourselves before they ever came along.
Yeah. So I think this, I don't know, it's a shout out to the industry and to you for taking a participatory role in it, because I'm like, I don't know, I think you have at least the credentials, and I don't think you'd be selling something if you didn't either personally think there was benefit to it, and the players. It's like you've seen the company, you understand. Sure. So I would trust you far over some of these other sources, if you will, that I've seen, because there's a million companies that are trying to promote something.
Oh, there are. Yeah. One thing I can say about Arbonne, and it's one of the reasons why I decided to go with them anyways, is all of our stuff is clinically tested and backed. We are huge about clinical testing and about ethically sourcing all of our products. So I would tell you that we honestly have some of the highest quality health and wellness products on the market. The fact that, so we're something called a B Corporation. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it is one of the highest rankings that you can possibly get for testing, for our products being clean and tested, and then also for sustainability, which is huge. So the fact that we're one of the highest ranked companies with that certification is just incredible, and it just says a lot about how good our products truly are. Right. So, and the thing is too, Arbonne's, it's a huge company, but like we have somebody called the science lady, and the science lady, I can literally text her tomorrow and she would answer my question about something scientifically if I had a clinical question. So I love that part about the company as well.
And so through this company, right, you're able to then start promoting products that you believe in, and you get a commission of some version of that, right? So that's how you start to build a business out. And so one of the things when we had talked previously, you were describing how you've now like immediately realized, having started this path, is that the value of connections and the value of, in my world, we call them referrals, but it's connecting to other people and figuring out that path. Explain how I think that's been highlighted now that you started this business of yours. Like how did you come to that realization, I suppose?
First of all, I think I was very isolated working from home, and especially with a new baby for the first 2 years. I got very isolated and wasn't making connections like I might have used to when I was out in the world a little bit more. So you just start realizing the more you talk to people and the more you get out there and are just nice to people, people, and you build trust with people, then they become your clients. They want to join your team. It's so important to just get out there and make those connections and talk to people. A good example is Bethany's Bakery, which is up in Timonium and Cockeysville. I actually met her. I was at a little farmer's market type ordeal. I had a booth. She had a booth. She made my little girl's birthday cake. I thought her stuff was amazing. So then she turned around and came to an event I had, and she's a client of mine. And exactly. So that's just a good example of just putting yourself out there and making those connections and networking a little bit,
It does require us to get out of our routines.
It does.
Which is a challenge. I feel like, I don't know, the older I get, the more in a routine I become, and then the less I want to do anything else.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that works?
It is. I know.
Yeah. And so what's driven you is now you found a vehicle for potential success. And so one of the other things that you had mentioned to me, it was like the idea of having both financial freedom and some of your time back is extremely appealing, right? And that's the difference. It's why I'm no longer an employee for anyone.
Sure.
And I work way more hours now. It's like sometimes I had to give up working 40 and to work 80. It's like a weird way, but we do it because we choose to pursue a life by design.
Right.
And so I think that was a word you actually used during the pre-interview. I think that was a phrase that you would use. And what's really interesting about that is that in the business that I'm in, I have coaches that have helped me for years. And in the Keller Williams world, in real estate, they have a slogan that's been around for a long, long time. And they discuss it's a career worth having, a business worth owning, and a life worth living.
Oh, I like that.
And it sounds so corny. When I first heard it, I said, this is the corniest thing I've ever heard. And then the deeper down the path and or the rabbit hole that you go, the more you start realizing that's why we do. That's why we suffer. The very first question I was thinking of when I wanted to interview you was like, why? Like, why are you doing this? And then when I heard you say you were trying to live a life more by your own design, that's the challenge with a traditional 9 to 5, or in your case, probably 12-hour shifts if you were a nurse, right? Yeah. So that's not by your design. And then now you're living by someone else's terms.
Right.
And it's just fascinating that we all, I think, gravitate towards that potential freedom. And you're no different.
No. Yeah. But you're right. Right now, it's like, 80 hours a week, like going nonstop to be able to get there. But yes, the idea of just being able to create that for myself. And like, I can just see it. I can see it in front of me. I know what I want my future to look like, know? So I just keep pushing and working those 80-hour weeks or whatever it is that we have to work for that more, for that more that I want for myself. So.
Well, I hope someone hears that and is inspired to do it, because I think it's daunting, and I think it takes a jump. I don't know. Is it pain? I've always been told we are willing to do things that we might not otherwise do, usually by pain. Like if there's some type of pain in our lives, you're willing to act. Whereas the pleasure of just having the freedom or the financial benefits usually might not be enough for most of us to act.
That's true.
But if you have a horrible boss or a situation, a current job that you absolutely hate, maybe that's enough pain for you to do something.
Sure.
Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, definitely something. I mean, you have to be like pushed out of your comfort zone, right? Like if you're happy and comfortable, and like you're just going to stay there. You have to have something in life that's pushing you out of it. And I think for me, it was just, I know that I'm made for more than just sitting behind a desk, making calls for an insurance company. Like I'm missing something. I can do so much more than this. Yeah. And it just built up until I finally just hit a wall. And I was like, I have to do more. I don't have a choice. Like I need more for myself.
Got it.
Yeah.
So in your specific situation, if anyone was interested in doing this, like it's a marketing organization. So, and there's been bad raps, right? By some of them.
Yes.
And they can get a connotation that doesn't sound very appealing for certain people. Like, what makes you kind of get over that hump? Because I'm sure at some point you had a hesitation. Like, what is this? Is this,
Right. A pyramid scheme. That's what, that's the one that I probably have heard the most. I think the biggest thing for me is Arbonne's been around for 45 years. So they've been doing it for a while, right? So like that kind of like made me feel better about it. I knew they weren't just like, I wasn't going to join and they were going to fall apart tomorrow. I just kind of had to look at it as like the business model works. People have made this business model work. People are successful. So I know it's possible. And I had to just think like, I'm just going to be sharing these things with my friends and family and people that I meet. And I'm going to get over the stigma. And, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to make it natural. I'm not going to send hey girl messages to random people on Instagram. I want to attract people. I want people to want what I have and what I'm doing. So just looking at it a different light, I think.
Well, that's incredible. I'm trying to take some of that advice in my own world, because I think in real estate, we're all kind of out there, right? We all work for ourselves, and everybody has the same holdups and hangups, and you just kind of have to get out there. That is challenging, and there's a million excuses as to why we don't put ourselves out there, and so I think it's incredible that you're doing it. So congrats to you, and hopefully someone's going to check it out and maybe be inspired, learn about it, maybe buy some product. Maybe I'll convince my wife to check it out.
Yeah, she definitely
She'll be
should.
a very
I would
tough
love
customer.
to hear her thoughts. I would
she's a tough one.
Love to hear her thoughts.
Yeah.
And, also like if you're listening and you think, oh my God, I could use more money. I could use more time freedom. Like that sounds like something I would love to do. Like I would love to connect. Just send me a message. It's so simple.
And there it is.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good enough reason as any. And so I wanted to also kind of circle back, because of course the title is All Roads.
It is. Let's get back there.
Let's get on back to what I know about. And so one of the things that you're not from here, right? So we already said you're from Georgia, right? So you're in Maryland now. You've been a resident for almost 5 years. And
8 years.
Or 8 years, but that's before you bought this one.
Yeah.
So you're familiar. So help someone understand it. If, like, I was born and raised here. I know nothing else, right? So for better or for worse, this is what I know. And so I know all the little pockets, and I understand some of the history behind it. So I think it could certainly influence my way about feeling about certain areas. You live in Rogers Forge, which is one of the cutest parts of all of Maryland. If you're not familiar with it, guys, it's a community, like a real community. It's a historic community. Yeah. And it's not these cookie cutter brand new homes. I lived in a brand new, like when I was young, lived in a brand new townhouse. It was up near Bel Air, and it checked all the boxes. It was fine. It had absolutely none of the charm or appeal or community sense that this place does that you live in. And from someone who's not like me, who's been here forever and sells this stuff, explain to someone who doesn't know Rogers Forge what Rogers Forge is.
It's like a Hallmark movie. That's like the best way to kind of explain it. You share walls with your neighbors, so you're very close. You really end up having a relationship with your neighbors in the street. But everyone, they just raise their kids. Like, people stay there. People buy these homes and they're there for 30 and 40 years. They raise their families, their kids. Their kids play on the streets together. If I run out of olive oil, I can literally did this the other day. I went knocked on one of our neighbors' doors, and it's just such a sense of community. It's also everybody knows everything about everybody, so there's that as well. It'll be like. And it's just very charming. Like, the homes are just charming. They put up these lights. We string lights from one house to another during Christmas time. And it's a thing. Like, everybody goes into their yards at the same time, right after Thanksgiving. We string these lights from window to window. It takes all this collaboration.
Sure.
And then, like I said, it looks like something like a Hallmark movie when you drive through our neighborhood. Halloween's on tomorrow, and it's insane. I've never seen a Halloween like it before in my life. If you live in Maryland, you should come to Rogers Forge for Halloween, because it's
let's
incredible.
not tell too many people about it, because
That's true.
It's a really special environment.
It is.
What's funny is that I know everything you're saying is factual, and it's hard to describe it to people because they think I'm almost lying.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, no, it's like this. And it's just a really unique piece of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost going back in time.
It is a little bit.
And if you have young ones, like, you can walk to school.
Yeah.
And it's a blue ribbon school. This is a quality education.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's in the county. This is not in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
And that to some people is very important. And it's just a really interesting spot to be. And that's why they sell. That's why when we list your house, yes, it looked amazing, right? You did a heck of a job, but it's also the fact of the location. You bought in the right location.
We did.
And so I try to tell people, and I did promise you at that time, I said, you're not going to make a bad decision here.
You did.
And I'm glad to see that it did not. So, any other thought? Because I just feel like it's so good for people that might be in similar shoes or looking for a community to check this spot out.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was perfect for us. So when we moved in, we didn't have kids yet. So especially as a new couple, young couple, it was just like they're the perfect size homes for that. Sure. Most of them are like a 3-bedroom. I think a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And then, like, as we had Callie, like, it's been the perfect size for our little family. And like you said, like, it's very walkable. We have a park that we can walk to every single day. We walk to Starbucks. Like, it's been really great for, like, our small, little family. We're outgrowing it. That's why we're moving into, like, a much bigger single family home.
Sure.
But it's been perfect for what we needed in the beginning.
And that's what I try to help people understand, is that oftentimes you do outgrow it. Mm-hmm. However, people still resist the move sometimes because they love the neighborhood. Yeah. They don't think they're going to replicate that elsewhere. And I have people that are so financially overqualified later in their careers, but still choose to stay there.
Yeah.
And
I see that.
And it's just, so I'm selling a community. It's all new builds adjacent to Rogers Forge now, as you know about.
It's beautiful. I walked through there the other day. It's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty. Yeah. It's pretty incredible. So it's called the Villas at Woodbrook, right? It's adjacent to this community we're discussing. And these are huge homes, right? Mm-hmm. These are semi-attached, and they're 5,000 square feet, 2-car garage. But you get the proximity of what you're describing, but you have the ability to have even more space. Mm-hmm. And so some people have kind of transitioned from one to the other when they outgrow it.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
And so that's been interesting to stay. So, I'm there constantly. I constantly have showing. Yeah. I live there basically.
I saw your sign the other day. I was like, there's Matt's sign. He's my realtor. It made me proud.
Well, yes, it's people take selfies and make faces, and not all my friends are supportive. Let's be honest. They find lots of ways to make fun of me. There you go. Thank you. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's been really fun to get to understand and appreciate the community even more. Because there's not much like it. There's no room to build. So that's, back in Georgia, you're moving into a newer construction property, right? Yes. So you're going from a much older home to a much newer home. Mm-hmm. And I always say there's a big difference, right? There's a lot of positives, like you'll get a real closet probably.
Yes.
Like you'll walk-in closet.
Yeah.
These are trade-offs you have to make when you buy something that's built in the 50s, for example.
Yes.
So, and I deal with that. I have a historic home too. There's no square. There's nothing square. There's nothing perfectly flat.
Oh, God forbid you need to replace a doorknob or.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's all these things, but I'm so appreciative when people like love it, and and I rarely see anybody that doesn't. So
no, we've absolutely loved it. And also, like, it always makes you feel good when people come and see your home and like they're like, oh my gosh, this is the most charming neighborhood. This is the most beautiful homes. Everyone loves it.
Well,
anyone that comes and sees them.
People, it's on TV now. If you didn't know, I guarantee there'll be trucks there. So that I think it's not as much of a secret as it once was, because now people are celebrating Halloween. Certainly, it's all over TV for Christmas time.
It is. Yeah, people are always there.
Yeah, right. It's really it was not that way a long time ago, and it's almost doubled in value in probably 10 or 15 years.
Wow.
Like, you've owned it for 5, so just before you bought, those homes were well under what you bought. Like, you caught it right as it became more popular, but it's always been great. It's just now people are starting to know about it.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a secret.
No. Yeah.
And so, and Baltimore is neighborhood by neighborhood. I was curious, is that similar to how it is in Georgia? Is it very much like you can't, if you're 5 minutes the other direction, it's totally different, or is it not at all like that?
It's not at all like that. No, we're pretty status quo
for
the most part. I mean, so like Atlanta, big cities might feel a little more that way, but not too much, to be honest. Yeah, it's.
Are you excited? Are the people different? Are you excited? Is the Southern charm a real thing?
It's a very real thing. I'm very excited to go back to Southern people. No offense, Maryland, but
my wife's from New York City. She thinks this is the Deep South.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She makes comments. I'm down in the South. And I'm like, no, you aren't.
No, nowhere near it. I moved up here and I was like, the first thing I told my husband when I came home from work from Hopkins the very first day, I said, people are so mean. Why are people so mean here? Yeah. Because I'm coming from the South my whole life. I just, it was an adjustment for sure.
That's hilarious. Yeah. From other parts, especially up north, we're considered charming almost. Like we're what's our name of the city, right? The Charm City.
Yeah.
So so to some we're like a nice blend, if you will. So at least we keep to ourselves kind of more so than maybe down south.
That is true. It's like a culture shock now when I go home, because I go to the grocery store and I'll like talk to like 20 people in the grocery store. I'm like, oh my God, I have to get out of here. Because literally, it might be a stranger in the grocery store line that just starts up a conversation with you. Or it might be like, people you've known your entire life that you run into. But it's just, it's a whole different experience for sure.
That's so funny. So, well, maybe one day
you just need to come visit.
I'll visit, but Maryland is what I know. So it's such, at least in my world, I know all the pockets. And I tell, it'd be neat to travel. Like I am envious when people travel around the country and have a new home for 5 or 10 years.
Sure.
And maybe their job takes them somewhere, whatever. Maybe you find someone like you did. But that's never happened. It was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I can't restart.
You've done well here though.
I have, but this is what I know. I'm like, I don't want to relearn all this stuff.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like all my knowledge is here. So it's, so here I am, Maryland. For better or for worse, you got me.
That's all right. You're doing great here, though.
Yeah. So, and I just wanted to end it. I know you're literally moving in a couple of days. It's like, it's just how would you say the whole process of moving is for those that are dreading their next move?
Your
some
chaos.
People do.
Your dread is real.
Yeah. You're not talking it up too much.
I can't, guys. If you saw my house right now, you would understand. It's pure chaos.
Went from Pottery Barn to
disaster.
Yeah.
You just do it. You pack the boxes, you get the movers. We are not having movers like we thought, so we're doing it all ourselves now. So that's been a whole different story.
Because you told me that story, and everyone knows, hopefully whenever this comes out, maybe the shutdown for the government is over.
We pray. We really pray.
But explain how it's impacted a real family like yours.
So my husband's in the military, and we're moving. We're transferring to Georgia with his military job. So technically, we should do a PCS move. They would set everything up, pay for it, or we could set it up ourselves and get reimbursed. And that's what we were planning on doing. But because of the shutdown, we were notified that there's no budget for us to move. Yeah. They won't sign off on anything. So we have the risk of paying for it ahead of time and then not get reimbursed later, or wait a very long time to get reimbursed. Right. And we just weren't willing to pay the cost of real movers and possibly not get that back. Because it is not cheap.
And you're not going down the street.
It was pretty hefty price tag. So instead when we got that guys, and we got notified of that last week. It wasn't like we've had time to plan. Yeah. So, that's when I say chaos. So we had to call all of our family and our friends and be like, sorry, guys, but we need you. So that's on Saturday.
That's nuts.
Pack in the truck on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, there's real consequences for real families.
There are.
The people that aren't impacted directly sometimes forget about these things. And I think everybody, at least for me, I'm so sick of just politics in general.
Right.
And I don't know. It's all negative. I don't know about you.
It is.
I can't watch the news the way I used to. I have to read the news. I can't listen to it or watch it anymore because it's so insane.
It is.
And the channel you pick is exactly what you'll hear.
Oh, it is. It is.
They're like two separate worlds are existing simultaneously.
Right. It's like, do we live in the same country? Like, what is this?
Yeah. So it's nuts. But I always say, like, I deal with people directly doing this line of work, and people one-on-one are like the most lovely people. And it's like, but when you have like this groupthink, or God forbid, like this online, you can type anything you want into the.
Oh yeah, you can say anything.
Yeah, it's like that's where all this hatred and craziness comes
nasty.
out.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I didn't want to end it on that.
I know, Matt.
But God, reality's something, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Let's talk about Rogers Forge again.
I know, right? Let's go back to happy.
Let's go back to happy. Oh, that's some way to do it. But it's been a pleasure to have gotten to know you and to I guess, assist you move into your home and now having to help you transition out. It is the most gratifying thing I think that I get to do is, I mean, a home's a home. And once you've sold a few hundred of them, it's kind of similar in terms of the home, right? It's a roof. It's all the same things, right? But you get to meet people and you get to be a part of someone, a piece of their journey. And so I'm really grateful that you guys gave me that opportunity. And
I'm so grateful that Zillow sent you to us. So grateful.
Yes.
I mean, I give you a hard time sometimes, Matt, but I mean, to be very honest, like the one thing I can say is from like you helping us with the very first house, like we just trust you. I'm just like, I don't know if this makes any sense, but Matt told me to do it. So we're going to do it. Like we're getting the ceiling painted because Matt told me to do it. Like it's literally just like, I just know you know what you're doing. And it's just been the best feeling, like I said, between buying the house and then turning around and selling. We just know that we can trust you and that you're going to do what's best for us, So, and you always call me right back. You're just like the best. We could not have done it without you.
That means so much.
So grateful.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and that means a lot. So thank you very much. Yeah. It's a nice promo. We'll put that. We're gonna loop that on the website. Let's go ahead and get that ready over there. But thank you so much for the kind words, and I wish you all the best and the family all the best, and maybe one day the paths shall cross again. You never know.
You don't.
You'll be a success. You'll be having this big business, and you're gonna, you'll certainly have an opportunity to impact a lot of people, which is always impressive and amazing. And so all the best to you, and until next time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.